So this is about the script runner part because in the previous sessions we discussed about a couple of points relating to the script runner. Today I'm going to discuss about the script console because this is a console generally whenever if you want to deliver any kind of scripts and all everything. So this script console is something that we'll be using. Okay, so wherein we have to run the scripts, whatever the example scripts that we have, etc. Right? So that can be taken and we can use it. Right? So for example, if you want to add a group to have any kind of project role or something like, let's say that as an example, right? So these are the different scripts we have. For example, if you want to add a user group to any kind of project role, or if you want to archive any kind of issues for any kind of GQL search or something, or if you want to change any kind of owner to filter the dashboards, for etc. everything. So there are different scripts we have, as in when you can see here, these are the different scripts. Somewhere around 57 scripts we have. Now I'm taking one script so that you will be knowing and understood, you will be understood well in advance. Let's say, for example, I'm taking one of the script uh, to create a, mm, let me take this. Right, so clone an issue and link it to it, right? This is what generally I have taken one of the script. So this is an example that we have taken. For example, if you want to clone an existing issue nothing but the user story that we have taken, wherein for any kind of specifying what are the different field values we have, or we'd like to copy, right? So, or if you want to create a new cloned issue, or if you want to create a link between existing and cloned issue. So for that, this script is being used for. So normally when we are dealing with this particular example, as in when I mentioned you, so being a product management team, for example, any product management team as a product manager, okay, for example, a product manager wants to create the same issue to put into the different sprints. Let's say that login page, okay, I'll give an example to you. For example, we have taken a login page. Login page, wherein login credentials, whatever that as an issue or a user story that we are writing. So that can be applied for multiple sprints, means different sprints we have taken. Even it can be in first sprint, it can be second sprint, it can be third, it can be four, or it can be a number of sprints and all. So whatever the sprint that we have taken, which is a timeline, either it can be 1 week or 2 week sprint and all. Assume that the same issue called login credentials is same, because irrespective of the user login credentials are not different, right? Any user, you can be of any other role. So login credentials or creating login credentials are something common. So the same issue we are going to put into the different sprint. So for what purpose? This is to capture whatever the kind of recurring task we have. For example, if you are a developer, you want to view the tasks, right? So whatever the login credentials you have, the same thing even if you are playing a role as a business analyst to see the requirements, etc. So the same task, whatever the recurring task, right? So to capture the recurring task of login credentials can be one of the example from a product manager. Generally, we want to know it. Okay. At the same time, so when it comes to the code itself is concerned, this is what generally the code was, scripting code, as in for the example that we have taken. If you want to clone any kind of issue to link it, so we need to define, this is what generally the code we need to define, right? So we need to define the issue key. So issue key we have to define here, whatever the issue key we have, etc. That has to be defined here. Next, once we have define the issue key and all, so we need to define the source issue, whatever the source issue that we are taking and all. So issue key, source issue has to be taken into consideration here. Next, sometimes we will be working on multiple projects. There is no one project, multiple projects we'll work on. So whenever we are working on multiple projects and all, we have to select which project the source we have to clone or we have to manage, etc. So we want to link it. So we have to define the project also, because multiple projects, sometimes multiple projects we work on. So even in JIRA, we can work with the multiple projects. There is no one project. We can work with the multiple projects also. So we have to identify the source issue here. So we need to define the project also. Which project are we doing to clone all that? Next, what kind of issue type is this? Because sometimes it can be a functional one. Okay, it can be a non-functional. It can be security related stuff. So it can be user interface related one, right? It can be of anything, right? So issue type we have to identify. What are the source issues we have? Issue type, everything we have to be identified here. Next, if we want to issue the clone item and all, here we need to create the issue, right? So what kind of issue we are going to create? We must be mentioning about the project here. Project name has to be mentioned. Issue key has to be mentioned as is stated in the before that sometime back. At the same time, we have to update the issue type name also. Whatever the issue type name, either it can be functional or non-functional. Non-functional majorly deals with performance, scalability, reachability, load balancing, fault balancing. Security means like it's a two-step authentication process for login, etc. Functionality means what are the regular functionalities that we are mentioning. So issue type has to be mentioned in this. Next, here we need to write down the summary. Whatever the required summary we have, source class summary, everything has to be updated, including the detailed description of it. So these are the different code that we have to be copied. These are the different code that we have to be used here. So that is where when we are working on the script console, etc., as in when I mentioned you, whenever we are working on the script, etc., this is how generally we have to identify the scripts and those scripts has to be used, right? So whenever there is any script context we have, etc. So generally script consists, context will be divided into two parts. One is about the base URL and second is about the logger. Base URL means Java language dot string, right? So Java dot lang dot string. So that is the type that will be taken. So that if you want to make any kind of API request, etc., right? So for that, base URL is being used in the script context. I'm referring. If it was a logger and all that, so for any kind of user for debugging purpose, etc., etc. So that logger is a script context can be used here. So this is how generally we have to use the script console whenever we are working on the script runner.